That was really weird. A moth just flew into the light. It's literally there. The little shit. The little bastards. Hi everyone. Ooh, let me check. Do you want to say something, Holly? I don't think they can hear you. No, someone made something for me today. No names today because I've been a lazy shit today. Bear with me, just check this out. So, but I know what's. Oh, that should be working. Say something? No. Do do. Do do do. For fuck's sake. Let's try that.
Can people hear me now?
They should be. There we go.
That's good. Hey, hello everyone.
There we go. Right, okay. So, was it so loud? Oh, was it my tech issues was really loud, was it? Hold on. My God, yeah, it turned everything up to full there. Jesus, that was weird. Don't know why I did that. So, yeah, there you go. It's made me chuckle when I got this. I was running late for getting everything sorted. So, but we're here.
Hello everyone.
We're finally here. We have some. I had a message from a member of the Hefty fam this week. So before we kick on with the stream, I'll get this little bit of stuff done. So for new players, I think is the best way this is for. Someone has offered to buy 5 open tickets to not to give away for free, but he wants. They've offered to sell them on and transfer them over at a discount. So I think instead of 70 quid, it would cost 50 quid.
Wow.
So there's only going to be 5. So if people are interested in that, then chuck me a message, and then we can get that sorted. Okay. So yeah. So if you've already bought your ticket and you want another ticket, then that's fine as well. You can do it. We can. That'll be fine too. But this came out of the blue, and it was incredibly generous. So yeah, really, really nice. So yeah. So thank you, Bethany and Ryan and Choco Moco Latte. I love that name so much. For
It's
the bits as
adorable
well.
and it sounds delicious.
It really does. Yeah. So yeah, if people are interested in that, ping me a message on Discord, Facebook, I don't know, wherever. Carrier pigeon. These are all things. So yeah. So this year, so obviously where I've been quite ill and then I got ill again, I'm easing myself into streaming quite slowly. So we've done one of the Empire archetype streams already, and I'm going back into like doing everything again. So we're going to do some just nice generic chats because these were really good. I really enjoy doing these. It's not so much about the LARP itself; it's more about the LARPer themselves, and getting to see what makes people tick and stuff like that. So, for those who don't know, Holly is the mastermind behind the Welcome to Empire So you want to play Empire animated YouTube video. So it's got a couple of views on it. I think it's like nearly 80,000 or something at the moment.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's well worth a watch. Even if you've already seen it, go watch it again. It's, yeah. So we've been chatting for a little while now, and we've wanted, and just a couple, exactly. And Holly's wanted to come on stream and chat for a while. Obviously, she's a freelance animator.
Freelance animator, illustrator.
There you go. So she's really busy, a lot.
I think I clocked off at 4 in the morning last night.
This morning.
This morning.
This morning. So yeah, a 4 a.m. finish there. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we finally got here. Streams have been put off, and now we're here. So finally. Hey Liam, thank you for subbing, my man. I know it's a great t-shirt, isn't it? This was actually a Christmas present. This was. So my Nostromo.
Oh, I've only just noticed it. It's fab.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a bit of an Alien fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put on a shirt as well. I've got my I'm repping my Jackbox friends with my Quip Crunch t-shirt, like Quiplash 3. I've got like I think I've got like three different Jackbox Games t-shirts.
So
And
that's your thing then, isn't it?
oh, it's very much my thing. It basically, like, when lockdown happened, like, I sort of stumbled into the Jackbox community through doing some fan art work, like early 2019. But then when quarantine really hit, I stayed connected with my family through playing Jackbox games, and I really got entrenched with the community, like I said, by doing fan art, to the point now where I'm an official moderator on both the Discord and the YouTube side of things for the official Jackbox accounts. And I'm friends with all the moderators. We chat almost every single day, and it's been wonderful. It's been a really great experience.
Yeah.
And the fan art I did actually led on to a opportunity to work on a children's book.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did a stream about talking about the character design process that I went through to come up with some of the fan designs I made. And the person watching that stream later messaged me and said, "Hey, do you want to illustrate my adaptation of the Three Musketeers?" And it's like just opportunities have continued to kind of appear the deeper I've entrenched myself within the fandom. And it's weird because you wouldn't think like a bunch of like party games or quiz games like would have a fandom, but it does. It has a small but like dedicated like fandom who are interested in the lore and the characters of these games. And they're generally very sweet. And it's been fun to interact with them, and they're very talented. Like I've got one friend who like writes their own songs, and like for a Christmas special last year they did an entire album of Jackbox themed Christmas carols, and it's genuinely good.
It's insane. Thank you for saying that, Fiesta Skull. These are definitely awesome shirts. They are very, very cool. Foam Fox has just been given a potato. Yes, welcome. Yeah, the party potato.
Party potato.
The party potato. So, yes. Do you know the story behind the party potato?
No, I don't.
Ah, there it is.
Is there an actual potato?
Yes. This is knitted. So, Ben, his wife, she knits everything. She's incredibly talented. And she's made all of these things, and so yeah, we have party potatoes. So the party potato came from an Empire event with Mac and Grim. Basically, he had a potato, and he always talked about this one potato that survived from a farm fire, and he kept it with him at all times. So I had a friend of mine, Rob, make a LARP safe large potato, and, and and it was dubbed the party potato. It got hallowed and everything. So
Wait,
so
oh
you
my goodness! I think I heard about this potato. It
oh
was
yeah,
like it's a famous potato.
oh yeah, yep. So yeah, it's still around. Trot still has it. He's got it at home. He's kept it, and yeah, it's become quite a big thing and in this community. So dubbed the party potato. So yeah, so that's where all of this has come from, and it's an incredible thing. So I think I've got three, but even though in fairness I have to, one of them does belong to Chris. I haven't given to him yet. So when I go and see him, I will be yeah, I will be giving him his own very own party potato. So yeah,
That's a promising enterprise, like knitted potatoes.
yeah, it has an aura of making you not. It's just to be it's like a pride potato.
Oh, I'm all about that. You know that my character's a pride priest, right?
So I didn't actually know. I had no
What?
clue, no clue. But yeah, so we,
Oh,
we have the pride potato as well. So it's been dubbed the party potato because everyone felt really good when they held it, and it was really really nice. It was some of the most wholesome roleplay you have ever seen at Empire. It was great. It was so much fun. And then obviously you're chucking like cider and beers, wines, vodka, and all of that into the mix. So it
yeah. I
was
would hope it's vodka, considering it's a potato. That's the
wow,
source of all
yes.
this joy.
But no, it was great. Ooh, Liam has actually asked a question. We have a
Yeah,
question, our first question.
sick.
Um, so, Holly, would you say your work has set artistics as God's sake, I can't even read. Holly, would you say your work has a set artistic style, or how would you describe your style?
Oh, I'd describe my style as very, very fluid. I mean, an example of this is I remember there was a time that I was very strict on myself, that I really wanted to accomplish this kind of style where it was very heavily influenced by The Adventures of Tintin, Legine Claire, which is the Belgian art style. Legine Claire means clear line, so clear, bold lines.
Mm,
It's where The Adventures of Tintin comes from, that style.
yeah.
Um, but it was the funniest, darndest thing. My friends had started up a D&D podcast, and I highly recommend it, by the way. It's called Flint Blocks and Fireballs. My friends Jason, Ellie, and Sam are a part of that,
Mm,
and their friend Robbie. And I can highly recommend it because they create all of their own original songs. They have this fantastic setting that's based off of like the age of piracy.
nice.
10 out of 10 recommend. Um, but what happened was is that sometime I was just sitting in the bath and I was thinking about their characters, and I couldn't help but think about them like in this really, really silly style, because it all came about because Sam's character is this halfling that's only 2 feet tall, and all I could think about was just like a little body like that was primarily 90% head and two little stump legs and just like these little hands sticking out like this.
Yeah.
And then and then the other designs for the other characters came out and they were all extremely cartoony. Huge eyes, huge sort of like bulging eyes, and sort of rough pencily lines, big bold colors. Nothing like what I'd been doing up to that point, but it completely transformed everything. Roll on to years later with getting into Jackbox and
Mm,
learning how to emulate one of the lead artist styles.
yeah.
I'm now drawing things with extremely thick black lines, and I'm drawing more sort of like small circular eyes, sort of like this,
Mm,
sort of like slightly lopsided with tiny little pupils, and um, like I sort of like pick up influences here and there from things that I like. Um, and I'm currently going through sort of a blend between sort of very flat cartoony characters that just have enough like shape to them to imply depth.
mm. Okay. Okay.
And
That's good.
I'd say that my style is definitely it's very American influenced. One oddest thing is that one of my influences growing up is that like during history, like I really enjoyed looking at like propaganda and like
Mm.
news illustrations.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Um, and propaganda posters. Really big fan of like political commentary illustrations. The works of Sir David Lowe, particularly. Like if you look at his style, like you might even recognize his work just from looking at English history books, because like he um was he was illustrating during the Second World War and the Depression.
Mm.
So some very famous illustrations from that era came from him, and he has it's very characteristic, big, thick black lines, heavy contrast between the white and the black spaces, texture, sort of textures, really beautiful stuff, and heavily influenced my work.
That's cool. So
Yeah,
let's if we get back to LARP.
yeah,
Thank you
that
for the
thing.
question, Liam. Liam's a very creative bod himself. Does
Yeah, yeah,
film work and um, photography as well.
that's wonderful.
So he's actually going to be helping me remake the Empire trailer.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
Pete, thank you for subbing again, buddy. 13 months, you crazy man. But he has a wonderful beard, does Pete? He has such a good beard. He really, really does. Head into the Brass Coast. You won't be able to miss him, really. His beard's amazing. Big, bushy beard.
Great big bushy beard.
It's
Like that,
fantastic.
like big bearded man from the Brass Coast actually sounds kind of familiar.
Well, he'll be his first event. It's E1,
Oh, okay,
hopefully.
never mind
So,
then.
but yeah,
I oh, you know who
won't
I'm
be.
thinking
You've
of?
got
Thinking of
Johnny
Squid.
normally, so but yeah. So where did LARP start for you?
Oh, LARP started for me. So it's like, are we talking about like first event or very first time I heard about it, and like how far back do you want to go?
Let's go as far back as you need to go.
Right. So I heard about LARP from just about the same place as everybody else, which was, television, namely television that kind of presented this very sort of like caricatured, narrow view of LARPers as being like basement nerds that only come out into the sun to put on fake ears and terrible green tabards and like play silly buggers in the woods.
Still
And
true.
still true,
Hi, Baz.
like perfectly accurate.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Pete's actually booked in. He's there. He's locked in for E1. Sorry, I have to ask John's question because it's very silly and it's good
yeah.
and I approve. So, how small is Holly the Small, or is the name completely ironic and you're 7 foot tall?
Oh, I'm nowhere close. Holly the Small is very apt because I'm only just barely 5 foot, and I have very tiny hands. I don't know if I can have use anything for reference. I have like a D20 for like visual reference.
Jeez, small,
Um, yeah, tiny.
very small.
But also I think my size is somewhat exaggerated by the fact that I am obsessed with giant mugs.
Okay, excellent,
Yeah, just
excellent.
huge. Like I hate tiny mugs; they bother me.
So sorry to yeah, we go on too many tangents on this
That's fine.
channel.
I think that's part of the joy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. It does come in pints.
Chris, no, you take that back. My mugs are the biggest. How dare you?
My big mug's in the kitchen. I've got a massive Eeyore mug. It's, yes. Why aren't all mugs 2 litres? I too enjoy a bucket of tea. Yeah,
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
yeah. We do.
Massive.
I do like having a nice hot drink in the mornings now at Empire. It's great. It's getting the fire going and then get it all on there. Yes. Yeah, it's great. Really, really is good. Sorry, carry on. So where did LARP start then? So how
So
far back are we going?
we're going back to probably 2008, 2009
Okay.
ish. Like during the height of the Channel Awesome era, if anybody remembers that, like a bunch of like internet reviewers. making content about movies, games, stuff like that. I was like really big into Channel Awesome when growing up, regrettably. Um, and one of the
Thanks for
content
subbing,
creators,
Jamie.
one of the um, one of the content creators who was a part of that group at the time was called the Spoony One. I don't know
Hmm.
if that name rings any bells with anybody, but he talks about a lot of stuff. I think his most famous series is a bunch of negative reviews about later Final Fantasy games. But another series that I really enjoyed watching was where he just did these sit-down, improvised like talks called Counter Monkey, where
Hmm.
he talks about his experiences in tabletop. But there was this one episode where he talked about going to a LARP for the first time, and it
Okay.
was a Vampire the Masquerade LARP.
Oh dear.
And it's safe to say his experience wasn't great.
No.
It was very bizarre. And one of the key moments that I remember him describing was when he was on his way out of the event space. He came across one of his friends standing on top of a car, with his arms crossed like this, and invoking some sort of spell. I think it was called Obfuscate. And
Obfuscate.
essentially,
Yeah.
as long as he does this, he's invisible to everybody, and he's just standing on top of a car doing this. And that was his experience of LARP, is his friend being terribly strange on top of a car.
That will do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Jesus.
And that kind of cemented the kind of mentality in my mind that, like, yeah, D&D is pretty nerdy, but I'll never LARP. I mean, that's just not gonna happen. That's just too much, man.
Hmm.
Um, and then fast forward to my third year of university, significantly further down the line. This is like 2014. Um, a friend of mine, um, in Portsmouth, because I studied in Portsmouth, is talking about his experiences at Empire, and I suppose I am asking for the benefit of the doubt because it sounds interesting, and I thought, like, you only live once, might as well give it a go once. And I asked him to talk about it and tell me what it's like. And that
Hmm.
led to me going to my first event in 2015, I believe.
Okay.
And it all just went downhill from there, or uphill.
Hmm.
Like up, like level. Yeah,
Yeah.
went level.
Okay.
No, it was actually brilliant. LARP was massively transformative for me. Like,
Yeah.
I gained so much confidence. Like, it's so funny. Like, you play someone completely different, but yet, like, you find out, like, who you are, what you're capable of, what are your strengths and weaknesses, like, how far can you push yourself out of your boundaries, what are my boundaries. And, like, I just don't have any problem, like, socializing anymore at all. Like, I used to be a very, very shy person, just completely shut in.
Hmm.
But with LARP, like, I've really, grown as a person, and it, me being a shut in previously to LARP,
Yeah.
going to LARP, it's almost kind of like I fast forwarded my personal development, because I was just bum rushed by so many life experiences through LARP, fake and real.
Yeah.
And it just like it was like it was like fast forwarding my personal development to a place where it kind of should have been at that age in my early 20s.
Hmm.
And I was like happy to be around people, and people were happy to be around me, which was like I've come to terms with it now, but there was once a time where I didn't believe anybody wanted to be around me, and they just were kind of putting up with my putting up with me, just kind
Yeah.
of like, taking pity on me, just having me around
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that was, the general vibe I got off a lot of people growing up.
I know how you feel. I know how you
Yeah.
feel. Owls just said you heard it here first. Pompey, City of Champions. A hard agree there. Pompey is
Yeah, I do like Pompey. Pompey's
amazing.
a great
I love it
place.
there. It is
Yeah.
my home. It's
Is that right?
yeah. I was born and grew up there.
Yeah, Pompey's good. It's like a very good beginner city, I find, because like I grew up in a tiny village in Hamptonshire, Actually, no, it wasn't a tiny village, but I grew up in a church village in Northamptonshire. So, like, Portsmouth is like a really good city for people who have never lived in a city before. Like, it's not so crazy huge that like it's
It's
overwhelming, but
it's
it's
the biggest
still.
council estate in Europe. I'm not even joking. It actually is. It's more people per square 100 meters. I think it's so densely populated as a city as well.
Yeah,
So it's been regarded as the biggest council estate in Europe.
that's rough.
It's
Uh,
great. I love it. Yeah.
really nice museums as well. Random aside.
Yes, they really do. They have got some good stuff down there.
Yeah, really lovely
So
museums.
yeah,
And like
and
I remember living in student accommodation, and like when I was like having a really rough time, I would like storm off down to the seafront and go into the arcades and just pump like pound after pound coins into the Big Buck Hunter Pro machine.
oh yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. The
you
arcades
put
are
me up,
amazing down
yeah.
there.
Like if you put me in front of a Big Buck Hunter arcade machine from any generation, like I will destroy it.
Mm.
Favorite game.
So and some incredibly handsome person has just gifted a sub to Secret Seashell as well.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was me. Uh, I don't know who they are. It's all done at random. It's great. Yes, Renegade Badger. Yeah, Lee Park. What? Yeah. Well, not the nicest place in Portsmouth, that's for sure. But imagine having a museum other than a Beatles themed one. It wouldn't be Liverpool. No, no. I've only ever been to Liverpool once. That was a long, long time ago. But so LARP for you then was your friend doing a vampire themed one and watching someone he knew do something stupid on top of a car,
Yeah,
and that was it, and then meeting
that
someone
was the
and
first introduction. Um, Tangentially related to that, my first D&D experience,
mm,
like first tabletop roleplay experience, wasn't too far off of a LARP experience, because this is just one of those memories that is like, branded into my brain and I'll never forget, right? First time playing Dungeons and Dragons
mm,
was 3.5 edition. Um, a group of people I'd never met before.
yeah,
Um, that I met through a person that I met through another person that I met on the bus after bringing a very strange looking art project, 3D art project onto the onto a bus, and just happening to chat with him, which led to coffee, which led to meeting him, which led to playing D&D for the first time. And these were a very enthusiastic bunch of characters.
mm,
And I played a human bard, once again inspired by the Spoony One and Counter Monkey,
okay,
because like his D&D character was a pirate bard captain, and the bard class sounded fun. Still one of my favorites to this day.
mm,
I just played a regular human bard, and I was so green. It was unbelievable. Like when I was filling in my character sheets, I looked at the section where, like, which deity you follow, and I'm like, I don't know, God.
yeah. Those I mean, I only ever student life is taking the weirdest things onto the bus. Yep, definitely. And
For
thank
sure, yeah.
Raven, thank you so much for subbing. 9 months.
Gorge.
We've had a stream baby, I guess. 9 months. Mine and Pete's stream baby is 4 months old now. It's it's a weird
Uh,
one. Yeah.
yeah, this was leading me to so there was a character, somebody was playing a fighter who was a knight with a horse, and during the first session, this was like what I we were playing. We would go to the pub to play D&D, and we'd order a meal and we'd play D&D.
Mm,
So this happened in front of a bunch of other people. One of the players had to roll a dexterity check to to ensure that they stayed on their horse. They failed, and they literally bodily threw themselves off their seat onto the floor in the middle of a pub. And I was so spooked because, like, what's happening?
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it was a
That's
bit
really weird.
strange, but it's surely like, just completely unforgettable. And that was definitely my
Yeah.
first experience of like, role play in the real world, I guess.
Mm.
It's just something I never ever forgot. But for some reason, like all of these things, after finding out about a LARP through, ridiculous vampires standing on top of cars with their arms crossed, to people bodily throwing themselves off of pub chairs to emulate, them falling off of horses. Still, none of that was enough to dissuade me from asking my friend more about LARP and to find out
Mm.
more about it. And when I went, I had a really horrible time the first half,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, through the right place, the right people, right conversations. What's interesting is that like we often say that you should hang around veteran players to get to kind of like give you a better chance to get into the game or whatever.
Mm.
I really got into the game because I connected with somebody who had also never been to Empire before or LARP before and
Yeah.
was also a tabletop player. So we kind of connected because we had a similar level of experience. And it was because of the immensely beautiful roleplay moment that we had together that and getting to know that his group that I finally got it. And it wasn't through any dramatic like capital P plot. It was through player made plot that we had forged together and just circumstances that had come about randomly.
Mm.
It was this gorgeous moment because we'd gone through all of the stuff. We'd gone to watch a tournament together. We'd wandered around the field together, and eventually on the last day, on Sunday, he had to go to battle. And what he asked me to do was to hold his glasses. So I take his glasses, look after them, and I wait for him to come out of battle. After when I see all of these people file through, and there's nobody left. I still haven't seen him, and I see like a final dregs of people come out, and I see an orc come through holding a bloodied tabard, like a priest. Actually, it was a priest stole, like a red and yellow one,
Oh my
namely
god.
what I thought was his. And I was like, oh my god, he's dead! Shit! And I was running around trying to find him and like confirm whether he's dead or alive or not. I see him like in the camp, and I'm thinking, oh my god, like he must be gathering up his stuff because like his player's gone out. And like he runs up to me and it's like, oh, have you got my glasses? Like, is this IC right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm alive. And I'm like, ah, you're alive!
I love those
That's when I
sorts.
got it. That's
That's
when I got it. That's when I
that's
got
awesome.
how brilliant LARP was. And I remember going home, sitting in the bath, aching from head to toe, just lying there thinking, I've got to go back.
Yeah.
I've got to go back. That's what got me hooked.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's really,
it's,
really
it's
cool.
brilliant.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. I hear lots of different stories from people who tell me how they got what's like kept them going after a horrific first event, and it's so many different things, but it's just one instance. That's all it is. It's all it ever is. It's just one thing happens, and then they're hooked for life. And it's like it's like you're trying to re-emulate that moment, but then you'll be there for another few events, and you'll have not that moment, but you'll have another moment that will make you go, "Oh, that was amazing,"
Yeah.
and it replaces that moment as the best moment, and then and it just goes on and on and on. It's I think for me, it's why LARP is so good because it just gives you so many stories, and the world is a pretty shit, bleak, horrible place right now.
Mhm.
So thinking about going into a field with so many nerds and being able to go, right, I get to I'll get to have a moment, this event that'll make me go,
Yeah.
that was awesome, that was
Yeah.
so cool, and I mean, be it like having a character death, have someone else die around you, be it saving someone's life who they're dying on the floor and you're saving their life in a battle and you're dragging them out by their face. So many different things like that, and that's it for me. But all of my moments around LARP and roleplay, they all seem to. I go one of two ways. I either become like the jester and like the comedy moment, or I become like the real hardened, grizzled nut bar of a barbarian type. And there's no real middle ground for me.
I want to see you in a jingling hat now. That's all I can think about.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mac is. I've essentially taken both of those and gone, yep, that's me. So you like both mixed into one. But it's going to be weird. So, what we February. Possible new player question. Would you say it's easy to come to an event solo using public transport? Yes. Yes. Easy. Yes. Really, really easy. If you get to Banbury train station, there is a shuttle bus that goes to and from the field, and it's so simple. And then getting back as well, it takes you back to the train station. It's very, very easy to do. There's we've lost Holly.
I'm back. Yeah, it's
There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that. My Discord just cuts out sometimes, so So sorry.
That's all right.
If that then I'll be back in seconds, basically.
Yeah. There's also there's the transport links as well on the Facebook things, and there's one in the Discord as well. So if you're if you're struggling, you can post into those. The Facebook one's the best, and just say I'm going from here to here. Has anyone got a space or anything? And more often than not, people will say I've got space for all your kit. So, and they'll come by, pick it all up, take it up to the site for you, and then you just go along and collect it. It's really, really good. John's right. Yeah, wrap up your weapons or expect strange looks, or you get the police come along and say, "So what's that?" You go, "It's a LARP weapon." He goes, "Oh, is this one of these fake weapons?" And they say, "Yep." Can I have a go? And I've walked through Southampton carrying LARP weapons, and and the police have pulled over, and we've had a little like sword fight with the police officer. It's been great. Because at 40 to 50, depending on the fit between, it's quite easy to get to, and everybody's really supportive, and everybody will help as well. If you get to site late as well, and you've got a tent to put up, and you're putting up a tent and it's pitch black, you will suddenly find you've got 9 people who've materialised out of nowhere with torches, and they're all there to help you put this tent up. So, hi Dawn, how you doing? So yeah, I mean it's just the way of LARP.
As a solo traveller of many years, I can attest to LARP travel being relatively easy if you know what you're doing. Banbury Station, get picked up. I've really due to the fact that I'm not a driver, I have mastered the science of like solo travel, of taking all of my kit, including my bedding and my tent, on my back, along with all of my clothes and various snacks for the 3-day event and the travel. It's easier than you think. You definitely just become a little pack donkey.
Yeah, it's daunting for your first time, but you do it once, you can do it again and again and again. James is right there. It's like people want to help. It's really nice to be a part of. I remember seeing cars stuck in the mud. So these are things that you'll pick up, and it will be like that's one of the common smells if the weather is bad is the smell of clutch in the field. So many burnt out clutches, but also you see so many people. It's like you just see someone driving along, they'll get stuck, and there's suddenly 20 people there, and they're pushing the car and stuff like that. Smells expensive. Yes, it can be, but it's just as if you're stuck, just stop and let everyone help you, and then you will get out and it'll be fine. Or you can do like what someone in my hall did, where he drove down the hill in the in the Navarre at 30. This thing is like this. He drove down it at 30 with his handbrake on. That was a £1,200 replacement that was needed after that event. I think his clutch had gone and his electric handbrake had gone. I love it. So it was so funny. We still remind him of it. We still remind him of it. In all fairness, though, I think he's coming to the next event in a Tesla, which is going to be interesting to see. It makes you laugh so hard.
I'm not sure Teslas are built for LARPs.
He'll have to leave it at the top. There's no way.
I think so. No, I don't think that's gonna work.
So as Jamie Benno, 103 camp on Thursday and Friday before time in, having to push so many cars. Yeah, it's plug it into the electric tree. Oh, it's so. It's just. Oh, it's great.
I can tell you, it's not just cars either.
No.
Did you hear about the Shadow of the Fallen Queen event late last year? It was basically like a mini anvil. It was great. It was like the first LARP event I'd been to in years. I had such a good time, but I got such a poor start. I like in my infinite wisdom, like I hadn't traveled in I hadn't packed LARP kit in a long time, so like I was safe to say I was over encumbered. I was bringing my mattress topper in like a bag, and it like I had dragged all of my heavy stuff, like all of the stuff I'd usually take on top of a whole bunch of like mini jam jars filled with cherry jam and all sorts of treats that I'd brought to sell as part of my gift shop.
Right.
Safe to say, I had I just overstocked like too much stuff, far too heavy stuff. So like I was just not able to move for long distances. I would have to carry all of my stuff with my heavy backpack on and like both hands full. Like I actually had to wrap cloth around the handles just so like the handles weren't digging into my hands as I was holding them. And then like this was literally like 10 minutes away from the venue. My bag split open. And I was actually so completely exhausted that I couldn't move anymore. So somebody had to drive down the road, like 10 minutes away from the venue, to pick up somebody that it was in spitting distance of the venue, but had to stop because I was too knackered. And basically all of my shit had fallen out of my bag.
It's one of those things. Unfortunately, I've seen people at Empire where the event it's been raining, and I've seen people who have had like a van, and instead of like packing their stuff away, they have taken all the people who are trying to go to the minibus, and they've just thrown all of these people with all their stuff in the back of the van. They've driven really slowly up to where the minibus drop-off is. Everyone's jumped out, so it's like a minibus to the minibus, and it's just like because it's like a 15-minute walk. So it's been really nice. We've had a few nice things being said. So Alex has said, "I've been on the fence about coming to an event, but I'm thinking it probably won't be April though. That's fine.
Yeah, totally.
You come whenever you want to come, and there will be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people ready to talk your ear off about it as well.
Yeah, April's also going to be like probably most likely, almost definitely very rainy and cold.
Yeah.
So like E1's for masochists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
definitely.
come spring or summer. Actually, I tell you something. If you want like pristine temperature and weather, autumn.
You think?
It's the best season, in my personal opinion. But also, it's not as hot as summer, but it's not as cold as winter. And maybe there's a little smattering of rain, but this is just September. It's only just come out of August, so like it's gonna
Yeah.
be warm, but it's not gonna be beating it down. Like autumn is just like prime LARP time.
Mm. So John said one of the best things about going to your first event, so you start starting to see other people with kit. It's like, where do we go? Wait, that guy's got a shield in the boot. Follow
Yes,
him.
that's an actual phenomenon. It's like
Really,
you see the
really
LARP
is.
kit sticking out the car, or like like huge like materials like strapped to the
It's
top, or
yeah.
like LARP Jenga going on in the boot.
I love it. I have seen too many people when we're driving along, and I've got so when I used to drive up there with my mate Josh,
Hmm.
and it would just be me and him in the car, but the car would be full, and we'd be there, and we'd have our like playlists going on, and we'd be looking out the window, and we'd see a van going along, and you'd see people already in kit as well, which was interesting. And then it's the other thing as like seeing all of these people in their cars, and it's like I don't know how you've got so much stuff in there. Seeing people with like a bit of a spear tip poking out of the window. It's when you've dropped everything off at the event as well, and you go to Tesco's on the day, and
I
you get into Tesco's and you're walking around and you can go right spot the larper because everyone's in civvies, but you see the trolley going along with like 3 cases of lager, like 10 bottles of wine,
they've
all
got a
of
belt pouch on.
yeah, they've got all of this booze in there as well, and
Yeah,
it's
they're in civvy clothing,
fantastic.
but they've got the belt pouch on already, and they've probably got the boots on.
Mm. Yeah, and it's like when you leave as well. It's the McDonald's trip,
Yeah.
and it's you see people who know have been to Empire because they've still got like if they're like me, I'm still wearing my kilt. I'm still probably just got a t-shirt on. I've got my boots on still, and I've still got half of my face paint on. I look an absolute state. I really do. Empire looks incredible. Hope to attend one day. Well, we'll see. Something just fell down. I don't know what that is. I'll have to look in a bit. Yeah, feel free to ask questions. It's what we're here for as well. So
Yeah,
happy to help.
I've kind of made it a like I've made it a very much an out of character and in character thing to be as helpful to new players as possible. Don't always succeed, but I certainly try.
I don't like helping anyone. I don't know why I do this. I really don't anymore.
I think you do.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Shut the
abs-
fuck
I absolutely love it.
up.
Yeah, so yeah, player events are things too. There's loads of player events. You get sanctioned and unsanctioned, but it's so like if they're a sanctioned event, you can use that knowledge and stuff like that at an event, at a mainline event. If it's unsanctioned, then it's just something you'll play. You've just got off and done.
Yes, it's basically a parlor LARP at that point.
Yeah, basically. So, how did you find the Shadow Queen event in the end, Holly? From Scott.
It was perfect. It was one of the best player events I've ever been to. It is just narrowly nudges close up to Hidden by the Light. That was incredible, but that's a different story. But Shadow of the Fallen Queen, the best player event that I could have ever gone to as like a first post-COVID like event.
Mm,
Like it was brilliant. It was basically a mini Anvil. Like it was like feel like same sort of setup, like separated nations, like
yeah.
field coverage, similar some sort of like similar walk times, very similar atmosphere. But it was incredible because it was basically everything that's fun and wonderful about a regular event, but just on a smaller scale. It was bloody brilliant. And the organization was great. The people running it were absolutely stellar. Like they would bend over backwards to help you. The venue was brilliant.
Mm,
I would recommend the people who put that thing together. Unfortunately, the details like my dyslexic brain is not on my side ever. like it's constantly working against me. So I wouldn't be able to tell you the people that remember the names responsible for it, but try
Jesus.
to find Shadow of the Fallen Queen, any remnants of the event pages, and use that as a lead to find out whoever organized that, because they did
Mm.
a brilliant job, just a brilliant job. And like the venue was great. Like it's a sort of like it's like a farmstead
Mm.
area. Like it was really cute. They had like a bunch of animals there, like goats and chickens and sheeps. So if anything, that kind of added to the atmosphere. It was
Yeah.
great.
I've done my
Um,
usual thing, and I've got so far behind on chat now. Because when we start talking, I pause my chat. It's gone
right,
on. It's
right.
gone on without me. It's gone crazy. I'm assuming, so it's great. But yeah, it's got sorts of. I need to start doing more sanctioned events. Yeah, I have to start going to. I was meant to be going to the Valorn one. I put my name down for it, and I was on the waiting list, but it just didn't happen.
The Valorn Symposium.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
but it's a very family friendly one.
right, right.
So,
Well, I don't think Valorn is very family friendly to
well, it's
me.
more talks and stuff like that.
Oh, I
It's
see. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So very very family friendly. So yeah, I don't think Mac would have fit in too well down there. These kids and everything. So yeah, I'd be like, take this sword, go hit him, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Phone Fox, I'm full. Okay, this is yeah. Unfortunately, after a bad experience with kit shaming at my last event, my level of keen for Empire has somewhat dwindled. But I'm hoping that it comes back. What the fuck? No, never let anybody tell you that your kit is wrong or it's bad or anything like that. Never. Your kit is what you want your kit to be. It's all aspirational. It gets better. If you're struggling with kit, if you need help with kit, reach out to me and we'll get you some kit. Okay, the Hefty fam, we will get you some kit. Okay, that is an absolute promise. I don't know if you're on the Discord or anything like that. You can ping me a message on Twitch or something like that. Just that's yeah, I don't like that at all.
That is genuinely upsetting.
Yeah,
Kit shaming should not be a thing. I
no,
mean,
should
like,
never be a
because
thing.
like no matter what a character's wearing, it should be the strength of the roleplay that pulls it through, not what they're wearing. Like that really bothers me. People who judge a person's worth like based on what they see in their kit. I mean, it's not like dearie me.
Yeah.
That's really disappointing. I wonder if it was in character shaming or whether it was genuinely like your kit's shite. I'm sure. I hope it wasn't as bad as that. But
My kit is fine. It was my friend's camping kit, which is why I was upset. Okay. I was OC before time in. Still, no one should be saying anything.
no, I mean you should only offer
Absolutely
critique
disgraceful.
for kit if one asks for it, and the only unsolicited commentary on your kit should purely be complimentary.
Hmm. Uh,
Like if you've not got anything nice to say, don't say it at all. That's just like politeness 101.
yeah. Yeah, I'm skipping forward in chat now. Do apologize if I miss anything. Hi John, good to see you, man. Yes, you do need to get to an event.
Yeah,
Definitely do. I'm pretty
we
sure
all do.
I'm a maid because your friend helped me out when I friend joined. Excellent. That's awesome. I'm really pleased. My favourite part of my experience at Empire, to be honest. That's good. I'm grateful. I really appreciate one question. Would there ever be an end to Empire? As it's such a popular event, would they ever stop? I don't believe there is a plan to end it. Maelstrom that they did beforehand always had. There was like, we're going to do this to this, and that's it. And then Empire is so open ended. There's so much that they can do. I can't see it stopping. I just can't.
Yeah, until it just becomes unfeasible. But essentially, the answer is no. There's no signs of stopping.
Yeah.
I mean, like COVID didn't kill it.
No. No.
COVID didn't
Definitely.
kill it.
Yeah. Any advice for character creation for a newbie? This is for Alex.
Yes. I would say I think if you are just a complete and total newbie, I think a good thing to come to terms with is that your character won't be as intricate and sort of like detailed as you might hope. If you are
Mm.
completely new to LARPing and this is your first experience, I think just accept that like your first character is basically just going to be a fantasy version of yourself with some tweaks that just kind of come to the foreground, being placed in an environment where there's less social pressures and there's less social anxiety involved because we're all wearing a mask, so there's less shame, there's less anxiety, hopefully.
Yeah.
um I think just roll with what comes natural. Don't come in with a plan.
No. Yeah.
Newbie mistake is don't come in with a plan. Don't come in with an idea for how your character arc is going to be.
No.
Don't come in with a set plan goal because it's going to get thrown out the window completely.
Within minutes.
Backstory is purely um don't don't write a backstory with the intent of like someone would with an author would have, where like your backstory is set up to kind of like complete certain goals. Like all of your accomplishments should be made in character during events.
Yeah.
Like create a character backstory that is less set up and more kind of like my character acts this way because this happened in their backstory. It's purely informative. It's not a play by book.
No. No.
I wonder if I can actually dig up the advice that Matt P gave me, because I actually like a long time ago I sent Matt P an email asking like how to do a backstory myself, because I had a really I had a really boring, terrible one going in that was just riddled with grammatical errors, as is everything that I do that's written on paper.
I
And
wouldn't
it just wasn't
even.
good.
Yeah, I mean, backstories are. If people ask about where you're from, they just want to know like a little bit about you.
I mean, if anybody asks about who you are, I mean, it's a bloody miracle. I mean, the
yeah.
greatest gift that you can give to somebody is giving a shit about who they are.
I mean, I have had a tendency to go up to new players and say, "So, is this your father's sword?" And do that
Yeah.
because it's just it's become it was quite a trope for a while.
Yeah.
Like
What's this sigil on your banner mean? What's that about? Tell me about that.
yeah, do you like to get drunk? That's a
Yeah.
good one as well. But yeah, just do what you want. A lot of people they see like a few characters on like TV shows or films and they think, oh, I'd like that. I like these like few people, and I like to do that sort of stuff. My father's sword, quick
Good.
to adventure. Thank you, Pete.
What weapons have I got in
Yeah.
this room? I've only got my mage staff. By the
But
way, random aside, I'm collecting LARP weapons, secondhand LARP weapons, to have like a rental shop for new players.
okay.
If people like just want to try out LARP for the first time at Empire and they don't want to buy a weapon or they don't want to buy a shield, you can actually see the shield. I'm not a combatant myself. What I'm doing is that I'm buying up people's secondhand LARP weapons and I'm renting them out to new players.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
good idea.
Also, fantastic decoration.
Oh
I've
yeah,
currently got like a katana stand with a sword and a mace, no, a hammer downstairs in my living room.
that's really cool. That's a
Yeah,
really really cool idea. Um,
yeah. Super lucky. I've actually taken my mum to LARP before, so she's quite invested in it. But me and her and dad are into antiquing, so they go to a lot of like antiques
mm,
fairs and auctions and car boot sales, and they actually happened to find somebody who was selling off like a bunch of like LARP weapons for stupid cheap, and that's how I got a hammer, that staff, that shield, a sword, and I think one other thing
mm,
for ludicrously cheap. Like all of it, somewhere underneath 100 quid, all in mint condition too.
yeah. I'd say that. Yeah. So Jamie's hit the nail on the head with your character background. Have a look through the wiki, and if there's areas that interest you, when they look to Oh, that's going to echo. Thanks for the bits. That's awesome. It's yeah. So keywords is basically because all PD will do is they do a search and they go, who's interested in this sort of stuff, and then
Yeah.
they'll go right. These people. Here's a list of 7 people. Go find them. Get this plot out there because this is what they're interested in. So it's very
Yeah.
very targeted as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so knowing a few little bits there, has been said. So, like, know your characters. So, your favourite colour, lucky number, favourite food, favourite drink,
Or
something
decide the
simple.
moment somebody asks you.
Yeah, or
Yeah, just pull an answer right out of your ass. And then
yes,
that's canon now.
yeah, or do what I do and lie.
Yes.
Because the thing is that in character, this is something that a lot of people don't realize that you can do is because they think because it's not a PvP game really, it's not essentially a PvP game. We're all here together, we're all working for the empire, for the good of the empire. But if people come up to you and you don't, and you've got this bit of plot that you've worked tooth and nail for, and they've come up to you to ask you about it or to talk about it, but you don't want to at that time, you don't have to. So if they ask about it, you can lie to people. It happens a lot. It's great. It's really, really fun to do.
Yeah.
It's just a dick in character. It's so good. Dracoon. Holly, give me a thing to write a song about.
um the ooh, how about a song about remembering the different coin denominations, thrones, crowns, and
Crowns,
rings.
rings. Yep.
Yeah, like we've got the old adage of um, so like it's uh, f 20 rings for each finger and toe makes a crown, and then 8 crowns makes a throne. Like make a little ditty that makes it fun to remember, like how coin denominations at Empire works.
Yeah, I think stuff like that is needed. Perfect. Excellent.
I've
Uh,
been told that I am, so
wow.
Sorry, that's a Stella coming through. I'm not gonna lie.
uh,
That's definitely a Stella coming through. I'm not even wearing like the mask around my neck, and
yeah, 8 crowns to a throne.
that's a real like. Are you familiar with like the psychological experiment with costuming with the lab coats? I'm assuming that's a no.
No.
So essentially, there was this scientific experiment where 2 test groups were given lab coats. One group was told that they were wearing lab coats, and one test group were told that they were wearing paint coats because the paint on the wall was drying. And essentially, the result of the experiment is that people who were given lab coats had better test results.
Okay.
And essentially, how that relates to LARP is that it's sort of somewhat evidence, potentially justification for the theory of like costuming and LARPing like having this profound psychological effect on you. Like if you're wearing the kit, it's so much easier to walk the walk and talk the talk,
Yeah.
basically.
It's a really great feeling, and it's something I'm really looking forward to about E1, is when I'm sat there and it's like I put my kit on and it's like yeah this is great, but it's when I put my face paint on, so I've got my 2 footprint tattoos there, and then I start to put like I draw the lines on, I get in the big white line in my beard. And like
Yeah.
that. It's when I get all of that on, and that's when I start to fit. And then I've got the accent as well that I do really badly.
You want to
So
know what happens with me?
what?
I put my pantaloons on. I put on the shirt. I put on the doublet. But you know what really sends it home for me is when I put on the necklace, the rings, and I put the sash around my waist, and
Hmm.
immediately the hip starts to cock. One hand goes to the hip, and there's a little bit more swish in my hips when I walk around. It's just psychological at this point. It's like a switch.
Yeah. Uh,
It's phenomenal.
so yeah, 18. Yeah, so 18 rings, Pete, and then when you get the business, that's all on top of it. Or 2 pies from the pie smith. So 9 rings for a pie. That's a good pie. What's that Dornish thing? It's like that. Can't remember the name. Where you don the armor of someone else. Don't know. I'm not
Oh,
Dornish.
girding.
Mm.
Girding.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's yeah. I start when I come out, and I put on the accent, and yeah, and then it's like because obviously I don't wear my glasses, so I yeah, and I'm not a great person in character. I'm just not. He's he's honest to a fault, loyal to a fault, but if he doesn't know you, then he doesn't have to be nice to you. It's that's pretty much his philosophy on everything. He just does what he wants when he wants. But it's that first interaction that's what gets me. That's what gets me going um, in game. So when I sit down and people have come out and gone because we're all sat around the fire, so everyone sort of like just comes in, sits down, and they like it's like they'll have a beer or something like that immediately, and it's like, so how you doing, Mac? How have you been? What have you been up to? And stuff like that. And it's the first thing that comes into my head. It's going to be the most stupid thing that I could think of at that time, and it's just going to be along the lines of, "Oh, I nearly got killed by an ox on the way here." It's like it's the last time I drink in the middle of the road. It's
That's
just just something like that, something ridiculous like that, and it's just and people just like okay, and then they leave me to it. So it's good. That's what gets me going.
that's really great. I love that so much.
Hype is getting dangerous. Ale pie and fighting. What more can you ask for? Oh god, definitely,
Well,
definitely.
if you're non-com, the kind of options are limited. If it's just ale and fighting, if the two options.
Ale pie. You got that stories, songs. The theatre are actually do. I believe the theatre is actually doing an open mic night.
Oh, that's so fun.
So
I'm still waiting for like Anvil Drag Race. Me and my
yeah,
friend joked about this. I think
yeah.
that'd be
There's going
really
to
funny.
be that will happen at some point.
Yeah, and it'll be 5,000 times better than the actual show right now.
Oh, I've never watched it, but there must be pie. Yes, there must be pie.
Yeah.
Um, wow, and then you got so yeah, the theatre, which we actually did the fundraising for on this channel, um, has gone really well. The theatre is an amazing place.
Oh, it's great. I love the theatre.
Yeah, going to the league and yeah, heckling
Yes.
and stuff. Yeah, so you got the in-character bars as well. So this has pretty much become a new player chat, really, in a way.
That's fine. I'm happy with that. I have like a whole bunch of notes, and I've only gone through like a 1/3 of them.
So there's loads of stuff that you can do. So yeah, singing, go up to anyone's fire. Every single there's song and story time as well, which is well worth a visit. But the sites as well. So Navarre, the Orcs, and Wintermark are expanding.
Are they? Well, Wintermark
Yes.
expanding is nothing new, but you know.
No. No. So the Navarre, where you come into the woods, you've got on the left the Navarre, and on the right you've got the pheasant areas. Um, that's now being moved, and the Navarre is spreading out into that bit. You've also got the Orcs are now spreading all the way back to the back of the woods, and then you've got Wintermark, which are going to be moving up to where the Orcs are. So that's the woods are going to be full. So
Oh yeah, didn't you mention that you were going down to the site?
next month, yeah,
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 that's
next
gonna be
month
fun.
we're going to be going up there to do a lot of clearing and make stuff ready. So John's asked, "What's your favourite thing about Empire?"
That's a really loaded question because it's like there's so many things about Empire that I I love that I could point to so many things. Um I think the fact that it's like so non-combatant friendly is a huge point. The fact
Mm.
that it's like the perfect length, like it used to be 4 days. I do kind of miss the 4 day events, but to be
Yeah, me
honest, I
too.
think the 3 day events is kind of close to perfect in
Mm.
terms of like keeping up the energy. I just wished Sundays didn't end so soon, you know?
Yeah.
That's my only. I wish Sunday was like a full day and then everybody went home like either in the late evening or Monday. That'd be
Mm.
nice.
I love
But
the
I
4 days.
understand that there would be issues with that. I personally think like the lore is like brilliant because it strikes the balance between like a surface level understanding is more than enough, but you can dive as deep as you want,
Mm.
and like both like surface skimmers and deep divers will be happy and be able to participate.
Yeah.
The religious system, I I never thought like in my first coming to Empire that I would end up like a full-fledged priest with every single priest skills because I love the priest game so much.
Mm.
The priest game is brilliant and it feels like it was made for me. I just love the socializing. I love the fact that like even though there are some mechanical benefits that like a priest can employ and give out, but for the most part it's purely just revving people up to do some cool ass roleplay. Nothing like they don't get like extra like, magical powers. They don't exactly get anything like super important in battles save for like, curse removal and curse prevention, but
Yeah.
it's just so roleplay forward, and I'm a very roleplay forward person because I'm soft. And the one time I tried monstering, I got hit in the face during like combat practice, and I ran away crying.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, no, legit, that happened. I can laugh about it now, but it was horrible at the time.
Yeah. So Raven's going to do a kit test next week. Going to go into the woods to take photos. That's awesome. I look forward to seeing those.
Into the
Um,
woods to.
Bethany, I want to get pics, but frankly, I don't live in an area where it's safe to go outside in kit. It's barely safe to go out as a woman. Please be
Oof.
safe.
Yeah,
Please just be, yeah, be safe.
be
Um,
with a group of other people that you trust.
yeah, I got stalked last time I went out on my own. Definitely not going to be going out on my own in the wood. No, Jesus. Please, everybody, stay safe.
Yeah, jeez.
Uh, yeah. So also, you don't have to be. Yeah, you don't have to be do combat at Empire. That's a big thing. You don't have to. Combat and fighting is about 15% of the game, 20% of the game, if that.
Yeah,
You do battles and that's it, and battles, skirmishes, but the rest of it is politicking in a field. Um, you don't even have to be a main character. You can play a background character if you want to. You
that's
can,
fully what I do.
yeah. I did a so Helen actually gave me the idea. She pretty much told me this is what you should do in a video, and I did.
Yeah.
Um, it was, and it's just like you can be a background character if you want
Yeah.
to. You don't
I
have
like
to
to
be
think of
big
my
plan.
I like to think of myself as the tutorial NPC that you could either leave behind like once you advance in the game, or you bring with you and you find out that there's like more to them than you realized.
Mm. Uh, yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm like the hard, horrible DLC that you downloaded because you want to get punished.
uh,
It's yeah,
it's the dark LARP.
yeah.
It's not
Uh,
like the
Jones, what's the most immersed you've been at Empire, or a moment where the character clicked? Well, you've said where the character clicked for you. LARPing clicked
um
for you. Jamie's the generic trading NPC.
oh, here's the thing though. Like there was like I had a second click moment.
Mm.
And the thing is that I've had plenty of times at Empire where I've been very fully immersed. There's been quite considerable examples, but if you specifically want an instance where it clicked for me, not my second event, but the not even my third, but the fourth one after that. I had a very significant moment. Up until this point, I'd been playing quite the depressing character because I was going through, like, I was on antidepressants, I was exceedingly unhappy, I had no idea where my career was going.
Hmm.
I kind of lumped that all into the character as kind of like I was in a very unhealthy state of mind, and it was coming through Estella. This is before she really came into her own, and she was still like she was still a very newbie character. And essentially, I went into the game with this necklace that, funnily enough, I got from like just a street fashion shop, something really generic like
Hmm.
Next or something like that. It was really pretty though. It was essentially like it was almost it was like a metal ball, and it had like rings sort of around it that were like manipulatable. It was almost like a mini planetarium. That's a mini like solar system diagram. It was actually very pretty. The thing was, it was cheaply made, so it was going to break at some point. It would seem to be holding on pretty well, but there was no signs of it like falling apart. But what happened was, I was with my friend Jason, one of the people I mentioned from the Flintlocks and Fireball podcast. We actually did we meet through LARP? I think we did. Something like that. Yeah, we did meet through LARP actually.
Hmm.
And we went to the orc camp, and this was the first time I was introduced to the concept of worth through their Night of Worth, and it was such a wonderful experience. They told so many fantastic stories that weren't focused on like great deeds or anything, but like what the items meant to them. And the reason why this necklace was significant is that like I had come up with this story that this necklace was made for me by my in-character granddad, who passed away after being brutally killed by um, a band of orcs while fleeing Holberg, because Holberg is like just the
On
tragedy
fire.
city, the tragedy city of the League.
It's always
That's
on
our thing.
fire.
Always on fire, always
Always on fire.
under siege. It's just like tragic backstory in the League. You come from Holberg. Um,
Yeah.
and so while all of this was going on, we had this brilliant time learning about the orc meaning of worth, and like how an item has history, and how like you pass that history along with the item from generation to the next. We then moved away from that camp and went to Navarre, and then the necklace fell apart. And there was this moment of like, I could be really upset about this, but I, for some, like, I chose in that moment. Estella was like, oh my god, a weight, like this enormous weight has just fallen off my body. Like, I felt so guilty about what happened to my granddad all this time, and I've hated myself for years for being inadequate, not like living up to my family's expectations, all of this stuff, and hating myself. I need to let go. And
Hmm.
I stood up, took the remains of the necklace, and threw it into the fire. That was the most immersed I had ever been at an event up until that point. And no word of a lie, for 2 weeks after the event, 2 weeks, I was on cloud nine. Like, I felt ethereal. Like,
Hmm.
the feeling, like, the high that came from this magical moment lasted for 2 weeks. There were days where I couldn't stop smiling because this moment was so incredibly cathartic that the feeling of like just I need to be kinder to myself transcended IC and became fully like uh, out of character as well, because up until that point I was going through some shit, but for the first time in a long time, through this very therapeutic like act of improvisation, I felt so much better.
Hmm.
Like, I for the first time I had realized I need to stop hating myself. I need to be kinder to myself. I need to stop punishing myself for things I've done in the past. I need to let it go.
Yeah. Renegade Badger. It's just like amazing. Apart from the names being really cool too.
Yeah,
My plan is to speak heresy and see where it takes me. I tell you what, speaking heresy doesn't get you executed. It's very difficult to get executed.
It is very
difficult to get executed. Yeah. It will get you some really intense, really awesome roleplay. You will be inquisited. You will be questioned a lot. People, they will give you stuff to do. As like, I can't think of what it is, but yeah, they just give you stuff to do as a way of going, yeah, that was silly, you shouldn't have said that. So do this, and then we'll forgive you. And it will take a while, but yeah, you will get some great roleplay out of that. I know people who have come in purely to play a heretic to see how long they lasted. They lasted about 7 events before they were fine. Yeah, it took her ages.
It took her ages. Everybody loved role-playing with her. No one put her down.
She was great. She was great.
She was amazing.
She was really, really good. Yeah, I can't
Carrie's
remember.
just a brilliant person all around.
Yeah.
They're a beautiful, beautiful person.
Yeah.
I aspire to be as brilliant as they are, just in and out of character on a lot of levels.
Yeah, Dawn's just hit the nail on the head there. Meh, it's difficult to be executed for heresy. Yeah, it really is. Other stuff, murder, yeah, you'll be executed very, very quickly. And that. So, but yeah, you if you want to go and do that, then go for it 100%, because everybody around you who is coming to do this with you, you are giving them game as well. So it's well worth it. Right, I've just noticed the time. I had an idea during that for something that I want to do. So at E1, obviously, me and Matt Kaz are doing the Extreme Makeover. We have our 2 victims. Well, I've got my victim. Matt has got his lucky person. Would it be heretical to worship the first Empress instead of the Way? Yes, it would, and I would love to see it.
No, yeah,
That's great. I want to see
that. Do it.
That's really, really cool. It's just sorry. Quick tangent.
Claim you know her true name.
That's my character next event. That's amazing. I look forward to hearing about that.
That's awesome.
I got my first character was Empress Britta's. She had an affair with him. That was his background. Part of his background. Nailing an empress. That's the way forward. Oh my god. But yeah, so where I'm doing this extreme makeover, and we're basically spending 200 quid on each person to get them kit.
Yeah.
And then it's a competition to see who wins, and whoever wins. I think they win a pint or something. I can't remember. But it's helping 2 people who have nothing to get a load of stuff.
Oh, that's amazing.
I want to do something different, but in a similar sort of vein. So I want a brand new player who has nothing, maybe struggling financially as well, and all of this. I want to see if we can then, as the community, we can raise enough money to get them their first ticket, and also we can get enough. So as a community, we can then go, here's all your kit, here's a weapon, and just go, bang, you've got everything. Could be interesting.
Cover travel as well.
Yeah, well, if they're living in Latvia or something, it might be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
So probably not travel, but event, so we can get their first ticket and all of that kit could be done, and then the kit will be picked by the community. So they will say, we can do this. You can have, right, so you want to be this and this in this nation. So yeah, this is what will be good for you. Right, okay, we've got enough money. Boom, there we go. That kit has been bought and it's been put aside. And then we've got someone fully kitted out that way. And it won't be a me thing. I mean, obviously I'll be heading it all. But it will be a very, very, very much a community thing. And then at their very first event, they can turn up and there'll be a nice big box with everything in it for them.
Wow. Oh, gosh.
That's a goal, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely a goal. If that ever happens, I'd definitely be down for being involved in some way.
Oh, it's not a if that happens. We'll do E1 and then I'll just do it. We'll just do it. because why
Oh,
not?
yeah,
So,
no, that's great.
so yeah, so there we go. E2,
That's good.
E2. We'll put something out, and we'll get that sorted. I'll have a chat with PD, and then we can do that. Thank you for asking the questions, Alex. Can offer one of the bottles of mead for the winner of your competition. Excellent.
Make sure that they're 18 plus.
They are. They are. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's fine. I know someone that would be perfect for that. What coming to E2? Yeah. Yeah. Ping us a message, Badger. Ping us a message, and we can get that all. We can start to get that ball rolling. We can have a look at it and can go from there. I mean, even if it's a case of people go, I've got spare stuff in this size, and then we can get it sorted. It'll be wonderful. It'll be really, really cool. Really positive as well.
Yeah.
Because that's what the world needs right now.
Exactly. I was just about to say the same thing.
So yeah. Also, I'll put it in out somewhere else as well. Remember the 50 quid for an Empire ticket as well. So 20 quid cheaper. It's just if you need help, then that offer is there. There's 5 available. There will be 5 available. If you want to remain anonymous, we can do that too. So I know who's buying the tickets, so it can all go through me as well. So yeah, but still. So we chatted about Holly for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll probably have to chat again.
Oh no. Oh, again?
So, yeah, we'll probably have to.
Oh dear.
I think we should. I think we should do more chats where we get another couple, get another person on as well. Have 3 people
I
and
would
do like.
I would do this 1,000 times over. I'd be well keen.
So, yeah, so yeah, we could get people kitted up easy, not a problem at all, and we'll have a nice big box of stuff. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everybody who's come along and watched, followed, subbed, given bits, chatted. It's been great fun. Holly, thank you so much for coming on.
I thank you for having me. I'm just really sorry that I had to push this back so many times, but I'm so glad.
Don't worry.
Glad it finally came to fruition. Thank you so much for having me.
No, it's no worries at all. It's been good fun. Yeah, we'll have to do this again. On Monday, I've got Ryan on, so Choco Moco Latte is coming on to. We're going to do one of my favourite things, a reverse Q&A. So it's a brand new player who is coming to chat and ask chat questions.
Oh,
yeah, I love doing these.
Smart.
I love doing
great.
these. They're awesome.
Oh my goodness.
There he is.
Yeah, hey, I love your username.
So
I'm definitely tuning in for that, I think.
So exactly, yeah. So from small to huge. Ryan's 6'5". Yeah, he's a unit. He is a unit. So I look forward to this. Yes. So he will be asking chat questions, and will be helping out. So yeah, I mean, there's a link to the Discord on Twitch. If you scroll down in the about bit, there's a link to Discord. So come say hi. Absolute unit.
Absolutely.
So yeah, come say hi, and we can get stuff sorted. And yeah, we're all about helping people. So yeah, this will be good fun. Yeah. Anyway, everyone. Oh, should we raid? Should we raid someone? Should we see who's on? I always raid the longest Johns.
To raid it.
Yeah. So basically, if people in chat fancy it, then I just click the link and they go off, and a load of people go off to another stream to basically go hi. So.
Oh, may I make a suggestion?
I will have to follow this person. Yes.
My friend, Ethan from Chicago, is currently live playing Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Ooh.
And they're the one that actually hired me to do the children's book that I mentioned at the start of the stream.
What's his name? Twitch name?
Ethan from Chicago.
All one word. Oh,
It's all lowercase, and it has the what are those little line things?
underscore.
Underscores? Yeah. So it's Ethan underscore from underscore Chicago. No
Right.
capital letters, all lowercase.
All right. Well, he's just got a follow from me.
Brilliant.
Uh, so the funny thing is that I can look at his mouth and I can see him going hefty yeti. No. Um. So and then we get the raid. So you all go raid him and go say hi and say it's all from Holly
Yes, please do. Otherwise, he's going
as
to be
well.
very confused.
Yeah, and stuff like that. Okay, just yeah, go and share your wholesome selves.
Yeah. Ethan's wonderful. Like the vibe of his streams is just so wonderfully relaxed
Six.
and sweet, and he's very considerate, like very just very comfortable to be around. Like
Cool.
knows how to host a comfy stream. That lad.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Go raid. This is happening now.